Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 11 of Pinpoint. This one's titled Thwarted. At the police station the following morning. Chief, may I have a moment? The inspector asked, popping his head through the open office door. Of course, Inspector. What can I do for you? The chief questioned, moving aside some of his paperwork. Sir, it's about the gem robbery that happened yesterday morning, he stated. I have some concerns regarding the hero, Shoto. What kind of concerns? The chief asked, motioning for the inspector to take a seat opposite his desk. Well, sir, Shoto has always had an interest in gems and has asked me on multiple occasions to be involved in any gem or jewel-related crime cases. He paused and the chief nodded, encouraging him to continue. Yesterday there was an aggravated robbery of the Linsu gem shop in the mountains. I rang for Shoto to come and assist, and he was already in the area. I fail to see the problem, the chief interjected. Sir, it was 8 a.m. in the morning. What was he doing in the mountains at that time of morning? Currently, I see this piece of information irrelevant, but please continue, the chief said. Well then, when we retrieved the declaration slips from the GRA to trace people who had inquired about gem quirk wielders, his name was the most recent one day before the robbery occurred. Go on, the chief said, leaning forward. We hacked his phone account and downloaded the most recent list of calls. The last person he rang was a Miss Momo Yaoyorozu. Creati? The chief asked. Yes, the inspector replied. I paid her a visit yesterday afternoon, and she told me that she had indeed seen Shoto recently, and that he bought 2 gems to her to be analysed, one gem supposedly belonging to a mountain gem wielder. The chief sat back and scratched his chin. Sir, there's something going on, and I'm not sure what to do at this point. Do you think Shoto could be compromised? The inspector asked with a sigh. I've known the man for a while now, and I find it hard to believe that he would be dealing with criminals, but I don't like how all of this is panning out. The chief nodded. Probably best to take him off the case for the time being while we run a few more checks on him. Don't tell him that he's now a suspect, as it might cause him to cover up his tracks. Just tell him we'll handle the case for now, and we'll contact him if we need any further assistance. Yes, sir, the inspector replied. We're having another debrief of the case later this morning, so I'll pull him aside when he arrives. Up in the mountains, you had just opened the shop and was busying yourself making the interior look as inviting as possible. It had only been a day since the robbery, but your grandma had insisted that it was going to be business as usual. You sighed as you looked up at the shattered wooden boards that lined the shop entrance. You had managed to clean up the broken glass and cabinets, but the place still definitely looked like it had been ransacked. You were about to head to the counter when the doorbell tinkled. You turned around to see the 2 men from the other day that had administered first aid to you and your grandma were standing there. Oh, good morning, you greeted them warmly. I'm so glad you've come back. I was wanting to thank you again for your care the other day. It was no problem, the taller man said, walking past you. You turned to the man who had the red tattoo on his neck. Yeah, you're very important to us, he said, a slightly devilish smile on his face. What do you mean by that? A hand wrapped around you from behind, and a rag soaked in chloroform smacked over your nose and mouth. You screamed and struggled, but the taller man had a very strong hold of you. Shh, sleep now, my princess, the man with the red tattoo said, reaching out and caressing your cheek. Your vision went blurry, and your eyelids drooped under the weight of the drug-induced sleep, and you slowly slipped into unconsciousness. Back at the police station, Shoto had just entered and made his way to the debriefing room. Shoto, the inspector called from across the foyer. May I have a word with you, please? Of course, Shoto replied, stopping and turning to the inspector. We have enough manpower for this case, so I don't really see the merit in keeping you around. You're a busy man and I value your time, so for now I'm requesting that you stand down from the case and I'll call you if we need you. He fidgeted slightly and kept his eyes averted the whole time that he talked. Shoto cocked his head and studied the inspector. There were a few moments of tense silence before Shoto spoke. Okay, if you're sure. Definitely, the inspector said stiffly, still looking at the wall. Shoto hummed. Contact me if you need me, he said, backing up slightly, his eyes still trained on the inspector. Something seems odd, but I'm not going to ask, he thought. He turned and headed to the door. Not to worry. I do have other things I would much rather be doing, he thought, pulling a small piece of paper out of his pocket and glancing down at the names on the paper. Time to visit the Kichona family. The inspector watched Shoto leave and sighed, turning to head to the debrief room. I don't want to believe that he would be working against us, but I need to be careful. I'll have a word with him once this case has been resolved. At the Kichona residence, Shoto knocked firmly on the front door. Yes, sir? A middle-aged lady asked as she opened the door. Good morning, ma'am. My name is Shoto Todoroki. I am here in relation to the robbery of the Linsu shop yesterday. Oh, the police already took statements yesterday afternoon, she replied, a little confused. Damn it, that was going to be my cover, Shoto thought. Oh, I see, he said. There are a few more details I need to collect. Sure, the lady said dubiously. Come in, Shoto. She opened the door and invited him in. Just then Shoto's phone rang. He pulled it out and looked at the screen. Unknown number? Hello, Shoto Todoroki speaking, he answered. Shoto, Yin's been taken, the voice sobbed on the other end of the line. Sorry, who is this? Shoto asked, brows knitted together in confusion. It's Mrs. Linsu, the shop owner that got robbed yesterday. My granddaughter Yin is missing. She burst into tears again. Shoto froze. Did you say Yin? He asked, his heart nearly stopping as that name rolled off his tongue. Oh, come on, Shoto, hop to it. Let's get to chapter 12, which will be coming tomorrow.